Hello and welcome to Classic Rock Facts. I'm RJ. This is the place where we celebrate all things classic rock. That means the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Check out our ever-growing library of videos on the Beatles, The Who, Kate Bush, and more. Subscribe for new videos. As a classic rock fan, I will take any opportunity I can to see a Beatle in concert. I did, however, draw the line earlier this year when I had the chance to score 2 seats for Paul McCartney in Nashville. Is it just me, or is $4,489.30 too much for a night out? Anyways, I was too young to see George Harrison's 1974 tour. I wasn't able to travel to Japan in 1991 to see him there either. I was ready to see John Lennon on his One World, One Peace tour in the spring of 1981, but we all know what happened. I was able to see Ringo Starr and his All-Starr Bands 6 times over the last 36 years. Here are the tours I attended. The very first tour in 1989 with brother-in-law Joe Walsh and 5th Beatle Billy Preston. In 1992 with Burton Cummings of the Guess Who and Timothy B. Schmidt of the Eagles. In 1995 with Mark Farner of Grand Funk and John Entwistle of The Who. In 1999 with Jack Bruce of Cream and Simon Kirke of Bad Company. In 2001 with Roger Hodgson from Supertramp and Greg Lake from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. In 2012 with Greg Raleigh of Santana and Journey and Todd Rundgren. Ringo was coaxed back onto the road by David Fishoff, a music producer who hated seeing Ringo doing nothing. David Fishoff is also the creator of the rock and roll fantasy camp events over the years. If you have never been to a Ringo concert, the concept of the All-Starr Band is unique. Ringo recruits famous musicians as his backing band. Those musicians have usually had major hits in their careers. So aside from backing Ringo on his Beatles and solo material, each musician then gets 2 of their songs added to the setlist. The cool part is that Ringo stays on stage the entire time and plays drums. Beatles songs are great, but seeing Ringo playing along to Hang on Sloopy by the McCoys, Glamorous Life by Sheila E., Boris the Spider by The Who, or The Logical Song by Supertramp is a real treat. It's common today to see classic rock legacy bands doing jukebox concerts, or maybe an album played in its entirety on its 50th anniversary. Fans definitely enjoy this as well. Is it too late for Led Zeppelin to reunite with Jason Bonham for a quick tour of the US playing Physical Graffiti in its entirety on its 50th anniversary? Here is just a small taste of the All-Starr Band members' greatest hits.
Got a thirst for kind, window by, hey. Will it go round in circles? Will it fly high like a bird in the sky? Will it go round in circles? But I don't know why. Should it know better than to fall in love with you?
Stay away, don't you invade my home. Let's stop if you hang outside. Don't come in, I'll only run and hide. You can't.
She looked at me with her big bright eyes and said, "You ain't seen nothing yet." But baby, you just ain't seen nothing yet. Here's something that you're never gonna forget, baby.
When someone drops a cup in a submarine, I'm
not a bad group of players. Today we're going to discuss the famous musicians that Ringo asked to play in his All-Starr band, but said no. Who would say no to playing with a rock legend, and why? Without a doubt, Ringo has played and recorded with more musicians than any other Beatle. The quality of musician Ringo requires in his band is legendary. He does not rely on in-ear monitors to keep time, and to give him cues as to where in the song they are. If you're not familiar with in-ear click tracks that drummers use, here is an example of what modern drummers hear in their earpieces.
Homegirl Summer.
Intro.
2, 3, 4.
Verse.
2, 3, 4.
Susanne und mein Kiez und alle Kinder jedes Jahr dasselbe Spiel. Es ist heiß in Berlin. Es ist Sommer in mein Kiez und alle gehen dahin. Doch ich glaub, ich geh nicht hin. Ich bleibe drin, 50 Grad, viel zu warm. Ich lieg nackt im Apartment und sing den Song, zu dem ihr gerade tanzt. Mir egal, was ihr trinkt, wen ihr küsst, was ihr nehmt, ist okay. Das, was ihr gerade macht.
Chorus.
Like Paul McCartney, Ringo uses hearing aids in daily life. At 85 years old, and a life of loud music, Ringo almost certainly suffers from hearing loss and tinnitus. However, he continues to play a 21-song set lasting about an hour and 45 minutes. His final concert in 2025 featured 6 Beatles songs, 5 Ringo songs, and 9 songs from his bandmates. Here is the set list from his shows in Las Vegas at the Venetian. Here is Ringo discussing his love of music.
You must still enjoy it. You must get a buzz.
I do.
From...
No, it's what I do.
Yeah.
You know, people say, "No, you're still doing it." Yes, actually, I am,
Yeah.
because this is what I do.
Yeah.
I'm still doing it with really good players, you know, and people with great songs. And I get a chance with the All-Stars to be down the front doing Peace and Love and Let's Go Everybody, and then up on the drums to play with everybody else.
And still enjoying the drums as well.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
No, I love the drum.
Your boy's not bad either, is he?
My boy is very, very good.
He's the drummer with the Who.
He
I
is.
think that's so cool. It's great. I know. It is great.
Yeah. You know, anywhere we can play. We're still at it. We're still doing it. That's the deal.
Ringo, it's a
Anyway,
pleasure.
look, I've got to win this because he never will. So peace and love, everybody. Peace and love, brother.
Peace and love, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you, boss.
Yep, these would be great, wouldn't they?
Since Ringo's first outing in 1989, there have been 16 different iterations of the All-Starr Band. There have been 48 different musicians that have played in the All-Starr Band. Here are some people who were asked to play but declined. Bruce Springsteen drummer Max Weinberg in 1989. Chicago bass player and vocalist Peter Cetera in 1992. He was replaced by Eagles bass player Timothy B. Schmidt, guitarist Nils Lofgren, and the late great sax player Clarence Clemens. They left to go on tour with Bruce Springsteen in 1995. Dave Mason of Traffic and Fleetwood Mac in 1997. Drummer Ginger Baker from Cream and guitarist Andy Summers of The Police didn't work out in 1999. In 2000, Billy Preston was replaced by Eric Carmen of the Raspberries. Ray Davies of the Kinks left before the tour began. Billy Squier was asked to join and said no to spend the summer with his godchildren. He did say yes in 2006. Mark Hudson of the Hudson Brothers left before the tour started in 2006. Pete Townsend of The Who was asked over the years as well. And of course Ringo did ask fellow Beatles Paul McCartney and George Harrison to come on tour with him several times. Paul responded by saying it didn't make economic sense to play small venues when he can play large ones as a solo act. Here is Ringo describing when he asked George to join his band.
Oh, well.
Anyway, it's just one of those things. I do get nervous before every show, and I run on, and I'm fine.
Right. I want to ask you about the All-Star Band. Over the years, you get to have so many great musicians in your All-Star Band, and you pretty much get to have anybody that you want, and you ask them, they come and they play with you.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, over all the years, George, Paul, they never... You never invited them along, or they never jumped in? Oh, you did invite them along.
I used to invite George every time, and he'd say, "You'd have to give me all the money."
There have been several guests who got on stage and played a song or two with Ringo. Garth Hudson joined Rick Danko and Levon Helm. Harry Nilsson gave his last performance ever when he sang Without You in 1992. It would be the only time he ever performed without you in concert. Bruce Springsteen played a full show in 1989. The James Gang reunited with Joe Walsh at a Ringo show. Drummer Chris Fryer of the Zac Brown Band has played 2 shows. Bonnie Raitt, Steven Tyler, Slash, Stevie Nicks, Michael McDonald, Jeff Lynne and Robin Zander have all backed up Ringo on vocals. Actors Gary Busey, John Candy, and John Travolta have come on stage as well. And now my question for you. I'm interested in knowing who you would like to see if you could cast an all-star band. Now remember, their musical song contributions are important, and they have to be alive. Here are my choices. 4-second drummer, Ian Pace of Deep Purple. On bass guitar, Geddy Lee from Rush. On guitar, Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin. On second guitar, David Gilmour of Pink Floyd. On keyboards, Rick Wakeman from Yes. And multi-instrumentalist, Mark Rivera of the Billy Joel Band. Let me know who you would choose. Thanks for watching.